She came to my front porch like she owned it, rattling a shiny silver key in her hand loud enough so the neighbors could hear. "I can enter any property under HOA rules," she announced, jamming that so-called master key into my lock. And just like that, in front of half the block, I realized I wasn't just dealing with a nosy neighbor, I was dealing with a woman ready to take my entire life apart. My name's Mark Thompson, and I thought moving into Greenfield Estates would finally give me peace. I'm an engineer, steady job, good credit. My wife Emily and I saved for years to buy this house. It was supposed to be our safe place. But then there was Karen Mitchell, the self-declared queen of this neighborhood. She wore power suits like armor, fake pearls around her neck, and strutted around like she ran the White House. The thing is, the HOA here was dissolved a year ago after a financial scandal. Nobody wanted to be part of it anymore, except Karen. She refused to let it die. She declared herself president for life and decided to enforce rules that didn't even exist anymore. At first, it was petty stuff notes about my grass being too long, complaints about the shade of paint on my garage. I ignored them. But when she marched up with that master key declaring I wasn't living here legally, that's when it turned real. My blood boiled, but I didn't move. I wanted to see how far she'd go. And then the door behind her creaked open. Emily stepped out, calm. Collected the way she always is when I'm about to blow my lid. No yelling, no panic. Just a folded document in her hand. She looked Karen dead in the eye and said, "Funny thing. This isn't your door, but this is your name." She held up an arrest warrant. Karen froze. Her hand slipped off the key. For the first time, the self-appointed HOA dictator looked like she'd seen a ghost. The neighbors across the street whispered, phones already up recording. Karen tried to laugh it off, muttering about fake documents, but Emily didn't flinch. She unfolded the paper slowly, letting the sheriff's seal catch the sunlight. "Step back from my door," Emily warned, her voice sharp as a blade. "Or I'll make one call, and you'll be the one locked out tonight." That should have ended it. But Karen didn't step back. She snapped her fingers. Two men in mismatched black uniforms came jogging up the sidewalk. Badges clipped to their shirts, badges that looked like they came out of a Halloween costume bag. One puffed his chest. "Ma'am, step aside. This is an HOA enforcement action." The neighbors gasped. Karen folded her arms, smirking. "See, even the officers agree. You're trespassing on restricted property." I clenched my fist but kept my voice calm. "Restricted property. That's funny because the deed has my name on it. And those uniforms? They don't even match." The fake cops hesitated, glancing at each other like kids caught in a lie. But Karen hissed, "Do it. Remove them." One of the men put his hand on his taser holster. My stomach twisted. That's when Emily stepped forward, lowering the arrest warrant so everyone could see the sheriff's stamp. "You really want to test me?" she asked. "Because I can call the real deputies right now, and they'd love to know who hired two impersonators." The taller fake cop froze. The shorter one whispered, "Karen, I thought you said this was legal." Karen's eyes widened. "Shut up," she snapped, but the crowd had already heard. And then, like a movie cue, red and blue lights flickered at the end of the street. A cruiser rolled up siren, cutting off with a sharp wail. Two deputies stepped out, real uniforms, real authority. Karen straightened her back, pretending she'd been waiting for them. "Officers," she shouted, waving her arms like she was the victim. "Finally, arrest these squatters. They broke into this home and threatened me with fake papers." The deputies didn't even look at us. Their eyes went straight to the two men in knockoff uniforms. Badges one barked. The taller, fake cop stammered, HOA Enforcement Division, sir." He handed over his laminated badge. The deputy turned it over, raised an eyebrow. "This is printer paper." The neighbors burst out laughing. Karen's face turned red, but she still tried. "They're under my authority. You have no right." Emily cut her off, handing the warrant directly to the deputy. He scanned it, jaw tightening. Then he looked up at Karen. "Ma'am, this warrant has your name on it, signed by Judge Reynolds." Karen blinked fast, her lips trembling. This is a mistake. They forged it." But the deputies turned to the crowd. Anyone here recording dozens of phones shot into the air. For the first time, Karen wasn't in control. Her panic exploded into rage. She shoved past the deputies, pointing at me. "He's dangerous. He has weapons inside the house. Search it now before he hurts someone." The crowd booed. We saw everything Karen. One neighbor yelled. Another shouted, "Check her bag. She came here with tools." Karen fumbled with her oversized purse, trying to hide it behind her. The shorter fake cop cracked under pressure. "She paid us cash," he blurted. "Said she wanted us to scare the squatters off." His partner cursed and bolted down the street half the block, laughing after him. The deputies moved fast. One grabbed Karen's purse, the other grabbed her wrist. Out spilled the so-called master key set, forged HOA letterheads, and a stack of fake eviction notices with my address printed on them. The crowd gasped. The deputy held one up. "This is fraud." Karen thrashed, screaming. "You don't understand. The HOA gave me power. This neighborhood belongs to me." Emily folded her arms. "Funny, because the HOA dissolved last year. You're the only one pretending it still exists." That line hit harder than a punch. The crowd roared with laughter and disbelief. The deputies clicked cuffs around Karen's wrists, but even as they read her rights, she turned her head toward me. "This isn't over," she hissed. "You'll regret ever crossing me." And in that moment, I'll admit it, I believed her. Because just as the deputies started leading her away, she shouted, "Call the county inspector. This house was built without permits." My stomach dropped. My chest felt hollow. The deputy frowned, speaking into his radio. "Dispatch, confirm any pending code violations on this property." For a split second, doubt crawled into my head. What if she was right? What if some technicality made everything we'd built illegal? I thought about all the hours I'd spent working on this house, the savings we'd poured into it, and, for the first time in this fight, I almost gave up. I wondered, had I been the fool? Had we rushed, missed something, handed Karen the one weapon she needed? Karen caught the look on my face and smirked through the cuffs. "See, you're not so clean after all," she whispered. "But Emily. God." Emily. She didn't flinch. She pulled out her phone, swiped, and raised her voice for everyone to hear. "Permit approved. Final inspection signed 2 weeks ago by Chief Inspector Harris himself. You want the video of him shaking my husband's hand?" She tapped play. On the screen, Harris clapped me on the shoulder. "This property is cleared. Congratulations." The crowd erupted in cheers. The deputy froze, then nodded. "Confirmed. No violations." Karen's face twisted. She lunged forward, snarling. "That's fake. You hacked it." The deputy yanked her back. "That's enough, ma'am." But just when I thought it was over, Karen tilted her head and whispered sharp and low, "You think I'm alone in this? You'll see who really runs this town." And right then, a black SUV rolled up across the street. Tinted windows, engine cutting off and out, stepped a man in a slick suit, gold watch flashing in the streetlights. He didn't look like a cop, and he sure didn't look like a neighbor. For a second, the block held its breath, and I knew. This battle with Karen was ending, but the war for my home was only beginning. Never underestimate how far some people will go when they think power belongs to them.